By the way, the Jaguars won.
No shit. Look at you. On fire.
What do you get?
I got a $7 return on a $5 bet. Here we are, Abe Cast Iron Brains, a podcast. My name is Bob, sitting across the way from my good friend and co-host. That's Abe. How you doing tonight, Abe?
Doing well, Bob.
Yeah, here we are. Lori's here too. How you doing tonight, Lori?
I'm here.
Lori's here on a Monday, October 6th, 2025. Plenty to talk about in the news, none of which I particularly want to. It feels like we're in one of those weird holding pattern news cycles where the government is shut down and there's a stalemate and all of that. And there's trying to end the war in Israel, right? It's a big disaster over there. And Rush is going to tour without Neil Peart as their drummer, which is an abomination. And I don't even like Rush. But if you're Rush, the only cool part of your band is the Neil Peart part, where you had like a world-class, multiple generations you go without a drummer as good as Neil Peart. And now you want to take fucking Beguilingly, that cornball bassist and the worst voice in the history of rock and roll, and go on tour without Neil Peart? That's what I'm outraged about.
Are they?
Fine.
How popular is Rush in 2026? Like, are they doing arena?
I think they're doing fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I, for one, will abstain from purchasing a ticket to see Rush because Neil Peart won't be there.
I mean, where are they? I can't. I imagine they're doing just as well as they've ever done, because their fans haven't died out yet.
You know, according to this article I'm reading, the family is on board, but you're not, Bob?
No, I'm not.
Arenas, Madison Square Garden,
Oh, look at that.
stuff like that.
Let's see. They're not coming to Charlottesville. They're not coming to Charlottesville, so you don't need to.
No,
Well, I will not be traveling to Washington, D.C. or anywhere else to see Rush without Neil Peart. Would I go see Rush
I don't
if
think
Neil
you
Peart
would.
were still alive? No, I would not.
Also, no.
Also, no. If they were coming to Charlottesville, though,
Yeah, it's hard to turn down stuff that's just down the street.
Yeah.
if it's just here and I had the night off anyway, like with no baseball
Have the
or whatever.
night off.
Like if there's no baseball or something, I would not go out of my way to go see Rush, even if they were just in town here. How's the shutdown going, Abe?
I wouldn't know it based on just how everything is normal. Everybody's just showing up to work, and yeah, like it's an unusual shutdown. In the past, the last shutdown of some size was back in 2019, and that's when I first got my AMC subscription, because we had like 35 days of doing nothing. So I was like, let me go watch some movies.
Yeah.
I can watch the Dick Cheney movie and other movies in that era. So that was a lot of fun. But this is going to be less fun because I'm just going to be working, and it's going to be
When's the first paycheck interruption going to happen?
in a couple of weeks. I think we just finished our pay period last week, so like the next pay period is going to be the one impacted, so that's going to be like 3 weeks down the line. That's why I think it's like nothing is really happening. Like when
There's no guidance coming from your bosses, like, don't come to work?
No.
Like, everybody just keeps showing up, even though... Like, were you encouraged to show up? Like, was there an email sent out that's like, hey, I know that technically the government is shut down.
right.
But you still have to come in on Monday?
So the way it was explained to us, it was we were good through Tuesday. We're recording on a Monday night, so like basically like no new information until Tuesday. So there should be some new information sometime on Tuesday about what happens going forward. But I expect they'll just do another 5 days. Like, oh, we just looked under the couch here, and we got 5 more days of funding somehow. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
All right. I don't really want to talk about the news very much. We can talk about other stuff. Do you think there's anything to the, hey, Trump's losing his marbles stuff?
I mean, you know, what's interesting is Trump always kind of seems a bit off, right? So, like, I haven't noticed anything different than his usual offness. So what is it that people are pointing to, like, because he has said...
That's the thing. You can always, in any given Trump appearance, you can always point to, like, 4 non sequiturs. It doesn't follow at all from what came before, and it seems like a total tangent.
Right.
And he's so willing to jump around to numerous other topics that it's like, it's not clear to me that it's a bad brain. Like, it's obviously a very bad brain.
But it's
not
like,
clear to me that it's a worse brain
right.
than it was before.
You,
but also, he sounds like shit a lot of the time.
Right.
Like, low energy, and, like, he's slurring his words a bit. Like, he doesn't sound great.
But he had, like, good days and bad days. You know, sometimes it looks like he's kind of, like, losing some of that, his usual ways. And then, you know, he'll come back the next day and he'll be back to his usual self, kind of just blathering on for hours, right? And so, like, you know, he's old. He's about to be 80, so that should be expected. I do wonder if people are just like trying to like will something into reality. They're hoping these things, you know, like there was a period where they thought that Trump was like on his deathbed or something, and he wasn't. You know, there's all this like, oh, look at the patch on his hand. Something's amiss. Or there seems to be a lot of like wanting something to be true. It's almost like today I was at the grocery store. The weather. I mean, it's October. People are trying to will fall into existence, even though the weather does not support it. People are wearing like way too much clothing, like a lot of like sweat-related stuff, you know. And again, it's like almost pushing 80. It's like I know it's October, but we're not there yet. Chill out.
Right. It's October in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Not only is it 79 degrees, but also it is like 87% humidity.
Right.
You maniacs.
But just the calendar tells you otherwise. And, you know, the leaves are starting to fall. So I get it. People like the fall. Similarly, I think people just want something to be true. Like, the math is on their side. You know, somebody's pushing 80, not a very healthy diet. He's just blathering on. He's up all night. You would think it's going to catch up to him, but he's still, you know, still Trump.
Yeah. I was watching a clip from Saturday Night Live. New season came back.
Oh, that's right. I just caught the beginning of it, the cold open part.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's an extended Pete Hegseth sure sounds gay joke.
Yeah.
Which is fine and like refreshing, actually.
Was Pete Hegseth at the football game between the two?
He made everybody do push-ups.
He set the world record for the most amount of people simultaneously doing push-ups for 1 minute, which is definitely not gay.
Who is
but instead it's incredibly badass.
Who is that for? Is that for Trump, or is that for him, or is that because I can't imagine the like who? It's not like for the foreign countries. Like, oh my God, look at all the push-ups.
Look at all the push-ups they can do.
To me, I'm just like, I mean,
we better not get into their critical infrastructure through all the gaping holes in their tech security because of all of the push-ups that they can do.
It's just a weird thing to keep on harping on. Like, oh, we need to, you know, I don't know. It's just a very odd thing.
It's funny because like I too wish that more people would more frequently do more push-ups, right? Like, it would be good.
It was for Bob.
For the body politic. And for the body culture, right? For I mean, I keep saying body. For the body of everyone to be more physically fit and capable. But whenever your leaders are harping on it in that way, it starts to get weird.
Yeah. Very weird.
Also, given that like his boss is Donald Trump, who before there was Josh Heupel, Tennessee coach, who'd never met a vegetable that he did not have disdain for because of an unfortunate incident in his youth, which has kept him out of the produce department of every grocer on the East Coast and the Midwest. for many years. Donald Trump is a man made mostly of marshmallow fluff and bacon grease.
Right.
Also, they gave Michelle Obama a bunch of shit and called her fascist when she wanted people to do jumping jacks.
She should have went with the push-ups.
Speaking of Michelle Obama, second time this weekend or this last few days that Michelle Obama has been brought to my attention through no choice of my own. I got down to the ball field at it was like right at 9:00 on Sunday morning because I was like, you know what, Lori, I'm going to go early and get the fields prepped so that I can have when I come home.
He took my fucking car.
I can relax. I can be relaxed at home and not have to worry about having to get the ball fields prepped when I get to the field at like 12:15, 12:30.
So he stole my car.
Little did I realize it was going to take me 3 hours to prep the ball fields because the lower field was such a disaster that it required extra work. But anyway, so I'm down there at the ball field and I'm doing all this field prep work. Been raking and dragging and chalking and whatnot for 3 hours. And I'm putting the supplies away and getting ready to leave. And my buddy pulls up. This guy, he's going to umpire one of the games down there. He's a bit of a blowhard reactionary type. I probably described him on the show before as my red-assed friend. A good guy. Also, a bit loony, as will be clear in the next couple of moments here when I finish my story. It's like, hey, good morning. I give a friendly greeting, a tired but friendly greeting as I'm sweaty and disgusting at 3 hours in the sun. And I say, how's it going? It's like, pretty good, except for all the transvestites running this country. I was like,
what?
I was like, what? He's saying this good-naturedly, right? Like as a joke, right? That's his greeting to me. I'm like, what are you talking? Like, you got some news on your boy Don? Like, is there something going on there that we didn't previously know about? Which takes him by surprise. Like, how dare I be talking?
That would be a heat check by Trump. Let's see how strong the support is.
And he goes, no, not Trump. Michelle Obama. Didn't you know? And I was like, yeah. I mean, I've heard that weirdos on the internet pass around photos insisting that Michelle Obama is actually a man. He's like, no, it's not just that. Look it up. And he tells me some things to Google. I'm like, I'm not going to Google that.
She's not running the country.
And what I said was, as far as I know, the only thing Michelle Obama is running these days is like a poorly performing podcast. It's like, I do that. What is who's in, he's like, nah, but Hillary used to, and it was at that point that I was like, all right, I gotta go so I can come back.
But okay, just a question. Why would he open? Was there something newsworthy about Michelle Obama? Like, why would that be like?
I don't know. He saw something on some fucking news feed,
church.
He's talking to somebody after church, or who the fuck knows?
That is bizarre.
It's just I was amused by the. Like, anytime you think, maybe this country can turn a corner and we can all be smart again someday. It's like, wow.
This trans story has captured the imaginations of some people, and it's weird. Like, that's such a weird thing to open with.
That Michelle, is there new news on this front?
That's what's weird, right? There's nothing. If he said, what is the Macron's lady?
Brigitte Macron is in the news because Candace Owens. I think they're taking her to court, right? Like they're suing Candace Owens to prove that Brigitte Macron is not a man.
How do is she gonna like whip it out? Like, hey, there's nothing there, like, or just a test?
I don't know. But like, if you are the person who has been defamed in this way, doesn't Candace Owens have to produce the goods? Like, isn't it incumbent upon Candace Owens to prove that you are a man rather than the other way around?
She should probably just use the defense like, it's not disparaging, it's just a factual thing. I got it wrong, but I wasn't trying to defame you unless you think negatively of people.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my. Yeah, I did. I stole Lori's car. I like
Keeps
driving the
fucking
Honda.
doing it.
I like driving the Honda.
Okay, I like things.
I didn't expect to not be able to return the. You know what? As offended as she is here, you know what the great harm is? She had to drive a mid-sized SUV.
It's too big. It's too high up.
12 minutes across town.
There is something to be
Takes
said.
up the whole lane.
The thing about like different body types, you have to kind of get accustomed. You know, if you do a lot of switching back and forth, it's a little weird. Like a low-lying sedan versus like one of these like higher up SUVs.
It's terrible.
It's not always fun.
Now, Lenny Kravitz is going to star in NBC's Sunday night basketball opening, which is being done by the same asshole who brought us and continues to bring us Carrie Underwood.
No way.
And the Sunday night football theme.
Do they have a tease? Has it been released? What they're gonna play?
Kravitz shot his opening in Philadelphia with Trip Dixon, the NBC sports creative director who has worked with Underwood on the NFL opening that's been used for the last 13 seasons. Quote, "The song is cool, the sound is great, and the whole plan is going to come together brilliantly, thanks to Trip and his team and Lenny for coming on board and really leaning into the concept and what we want to accomplish here," said Sam Flood, NBC sports executive producer and president of production. So no, as far as I know, no tease yet as to what the song is going to be. But if Trip Flood's history is any indication, it's going to be terrible. There was a feature in the Times at the start of the football season. It was titled "Carrie Underwood's Lyrical Blitz of the NFL," and it was a long story. I mean, to me, it was long. Maybe it wasn't actually that long. That talked about, that prominently featured the fact that they have to come up with one couplet that is new every week.
Have they come up? Because I feel like they're repeating Showdown.
Right, because they try to customize it.
But, like, not really.
As Underwood stood in the studio, a bottle of water and pencil resting nearby, she began with the lines Hyland had written in capital letters: "Ravens and Bills in a monster showdown. Alt 1, Allen and Jackson slugging pound for pound." Very gay. Alt 2, Allen and Jackson running round and round. Not as gay, but also not as cool, oddly enough. Weird. Underwood gamely sings each version before her, giving NBC options when it edits the song into the version that makes the television broadcast. The written stanzas are only suggestions, though. She has the freedom to alter them based on how they sound off the tongue. Those changes are often minimal but effective. To be clear, we're talking about fucking 5 words,
right.
Okay?
Right.
That she has the freedom to riff on. Underwood said. During this recording session, she abbreviated the Jacksonville Jaguars to Jags and added the before Dolphins for euphony, whatever euphony is. "It's just all about flow and the rest of the sentence," Underwood said. "You get in there and sometimes you'll sing something and it sounded clunky, and then somebody will be like, 'Why don't you switch the names or switch the order?'" Hyland said the goal was to differentiate the lyrics whenever possible, such as noting divisional rivalries. When the Rams opened their $5 billion stadium against the Cowboys in 2020, Underwood sang, "Boys and the Rams are breaking new ground." When Tom Brady faced Bill Belichick, his former coach, for the first time in 2021, the line used was, "Brady and Bill, a colossal showdown."
Wow.
This is what passes for culture. Abe,
You know,
this is...
at least they're putting some thought into it. You know, I'm reminded of.
No, this is the worst.
Okay, so I'll show you something even worse than that. Because again, they put some thought into it, considering what I'm going to say now. College Game Day, they have since corrected their error, but for a long time, because they would make decisions as to where they were going at the last minute. you couldn't do what Carrie Underwood has the privilege of doing, getting ahead of it. And so what they would do is, they would have this, the intro, and they would it seemed like they were just phoning it in, or like the quality was that of like a phone call. And they're like, good morning, Athens. Like if they were like in Athens, just kind of work that in, and then the rest of the song would go.
Literally phoning it in?
Literally phoning it in. And now what they have done since, because it sounded kind of shoddy. So now they kind of like tune into like, sports radio, whatever, just kind of tease whatever. Like, oh, we're in Norman, Oklahoma, whatever. And then they go into their thing. So like they fixed the problem that ailed them. This other one, I don't know what they're going to do when they do the flex thing.
So that is covered in this extensive feature profile about this. NBC will not learn which game it is airing for the regular season finale until December because to maximize ratings, the NFL waits to see which teams have the most playoff positioning at stake. Right. But all the games that week are between division rivals, allowing Underwood to rattle off 11 versions of the same line in rapid succession. Packers and the Vikings, a division showdown. Commanders and the Eagles, a division showdown. Ravens and the Steelers, a division showdown.
Let me guess.
And it sucks. Like, to be clear, I mean, my kids are always excited to watch the Sunday night fucking song. I don't know why. They're sort of mesmerized by it.
They don't have a lot going on.
This is a recent thing, right? They weren't always doing it like this, right? I wonder if this is now.
Did Faith Hill, when she started?
Yeah, I remember they would just cut
NBC?
to like Al Michaels saying, like they would like work it into the package, but they wouldn't have the person say who they're going up against. I wonder if this was like worked out in the contract where she's getting extra money for all this work that she's doing.
What does Carrie Underwood get paid for?
If you guys had to guess, what would you say? $3 million a year?
AI Overview returns the following. Carrie Underwood was reported to make $1 million per week for the Sunday Night Football theme song.
Get the fuck out.
But she has denied these reports.
That's impossible. There's no way.
Stating she does the intro song pro bono.
Oh, that's also bullshit. Oh, the NFL is known to say like we're paying you an exposure, because like I don't think they pay people for the Super Bowl, right? They may cover their operating costs or something, but I don't think they pay them anything.
The artist does not make money for performing at halftime. Yeah.
So maybe something like that. Hey, bump in sales. People know who you are.
Do you know how fucking like Bad Bunny is going to be the Super Bowl performer, right?
Yeah.
And then ICE comes out with some sort of press statement saying we're going to be in the building during the Super Bowl, like I think as a response to Bad Bunny being announced.
Which is a weird thing, right? Like, why do they care about?
Because he's been publicly mad about Trump immigration stuff,
right?
And so they can justify it in that way instead of in the obvious way it's going to play to everyone else, which is, hey, that guy's sort of Mexican-like, right? With his, I think he's Puerto Rican,
American
but like to the dummies.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You're almost inviting. I don't think he's going to do it, but you in his little skit or whatever they do at these Super Bowls, he should incorporate ICE into it, like as if ICE was actually about to apprehend him, and he breaks away and he starts doing a little dance.
I want a Bad Bunny cover of Vanilla Ice's seminal hit, Ice Ice Baby.
That'd be pretty good.
Reinterpreted for 2025 with masked ICE assholes out there on stage with him.
The audience will be confused, like, what?
That'll be fun. I don't know any of the songs, but every time we've heard one, I've had fun.
We've never had a Bad Bunny song on the Billboard?
We did.
Oh, we did? Okay.
We did. I don't know it.
Okay.
But when I know that when I hear it, I'm like, I like this. Yeah. This isn't English.
This is the Associated Press. President Donald Trump is considering admitting far fewer refugees into the U.S. this year, as few as 7,500, and mostly white South Africans, officials say. A dramatic new low as the administration is conducting sweeping immigration raids as part of its mass deportation agenda.
Great.
Why white South Africans?
Because they're white.
Because trolling, Abe.
I see.
Again, I'm in the same position I was in last week, which is like, how do you respond to people who operate exclusively in bad faith?
Right.
I've long called him the turd in the punch bowl. I stand by that. I think he's bad for everyone. I think that Trump derangement syndrome is true. But not in the way most people use it. He's just a deranging agent, right? He deranges the entire thing for everyone in all directions, and it's a child smearing shit on the walls, and then saying what? Like, this is what I do. I smear shit on the walls. It is Taylor Swift week, I suppose you could say. I've not heard a single moment of the new Taylor Swift album. I suspect that we're going to run into it in the future on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in one way or another. That's Life of a Showgirl. It's like Taylor Swift heard me complaining. I wasn't exactly complaining. I was simply stating that Taylor Swift is not hot. Right? She's not sexy in the way that, like, the way that traditionally the pop star is a sex object in some way. She has none sex appeal, and I don't think that is not me speaking as to whether or not I am personally sexually attracted to Taylor Swift, but rather her place in the culture is not as a sex object in a way that most other pop stars of her caliber and relative fame always have been, and I found that sort of interesting.
Is that by design, do you think, or maybe she's not going after the what do they call it, the male gaze? Maybe she's going for, and I mean like gay as in gay, but the gaze, and she's going for like a mostly women audience. Like, do you think that this is a deliberate thing for her to like play down whatever sex appeal she may have?
I mean, based on this album art.
Oh. Maybe this is that bum Travis's influence.
This is what I'm saying. Is the media around this album release is very sexually provocative. I don't think it's going to work if she's trying to rebrand herself as, no, actually, I am a sexual creature and what have you.
Well, you got to prepare the fans for the kid, you know? Like, how did this happen? Like, this is how, you know?
Apparently, the lyrical content of this new record is pretty gross on that front, actually. I hope to not have to get into that in the future in terms of discussing Travis Kelce's situation.
Is Travis Kelce like one of the songwriters, or like she's writing about him?
He's the subject of the song.
She's writing about him and his situation.
Oh, is he like a sledgehammer sort?
Sledgehammer short, perhaps. Anyway, I'm only bringing this up in part because I was amused that not long after I made the observation that she's not a sex object, she comes out with this record that's like, no, I am a sex object. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. Taylor Swift shoots down shockingly offensive question during interview. She was being interviewed on BBC Radio 2, and Scott Mills asked, Taylor, don't tell me this is your last album, Mills asked in a rather sly bit of phrasing. What? No, Swift replied, a bit taken aback. I just saw some fans going, well, she's going to get married and then she's going to have children, and so this is going to be the last album, he explained. A shockingly offensive thing to say, Swift replied with a chuckle. That's not why people get married, so they can quit their job. Is this shockingly offensive? Not by the media, certainly, right?
But she was kidding?
She chuckled through it, I guess.
I guess she chuckled through it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know they love to panic sometimes, but I love the person that I am with because he loves what I do, and he loves how much I am fulfilled by making art and making music, she said. That's the coolest thing about Travis. He is so passionate about what he does that me being passionate about what I do, it connects us.
Wow.
Is she passionate about making art and making music, Because my understanding is that she's released this new record and it has like 47 different versions, and that the Taylor Swifties out there are having to go out and spend hundreds of dollars at each at different outlets in order to get all of the different versions of it, which has contributed to the nearly $3 million in sales.
No kidding. This is some sort
or
of
3 million copies.
This is some sort of scheme. Like, so it's remarkable how rich are these fans of hers. I mean, didn't she just do a worldwide tour, like that era's thing? That wasn't that long ago, right? It was like last year.
Yeah, a couple years.
It was like almost 2 years worth.
24 different versions of The Life of a Showgirl available, apparently.
That's wild.
11 different CD editions and 8 different vinyl editions, which is just an attempt to... I mean, I'm sorry, I see it not as an expression of art. If you're making art, you make the singular object that is the album, and then you present it to your fans, and they buy it for $22.99 or something awful like that, whatever a CD costs these days. But you don't make 8 different versions of the vinyl and 11 different versions of the CD. You're just grifting from your passionate fan base at that point, I think. But maybe that's too harsh. I don't know.
I mean, it's impressive how much money she's making off this.
Come at me, Swifties. All right, Abe. In our Bogus Future, I mentioned that, I think on the other show, I mentioned that OpenAI is releasing an app that allows you to create all sorts of AI bullshit slop and share it with other people on that app. And then earlier this week, if I can find it. And yes, looking at my YouTube history, you will see Kid Rock, American Badass, because after
Bob
reading...
plays it every morning.
After reading a story about Pope Leo, I needed to hear Kid Rock scream American Badass.
And
so
every
that's what I
morning
did.
since. It's just how we do the morning now.
Anyway, this is a 2-minute quote-unquote comedy sketch from what appears to be just like a publicist company or some sort of agency of some sort. The subtitle here at the top, where the title card says, "The video you're about to view is 100% AI generated. No humans or bears were harmed in the making of this production."
We all knew TV was dead, but thought, why not squeeze in one last development meeting?
We had one rule. No missing children, no dead women, and no reboots of Heartbeat.
We'd pitched this beautiful comedy, 2 sisters running a funeral parlour in Margate. Warm, weird, very BBC Two.
The commissioner said no.
AI generated 100 better ideas in minutes, perfectly aligned to channel data, viewing figures, and optimized for the audience. The winning AI format?
I know what you streamed last summer.
An interactive thriller built from your streaming history and Deliveroo orders.
What? And who could forget the mental health format?
Britain's Got Breakdown. Audience votes on who gets therapy.
Ian Katz loved that one. I remember saying, "You do realise this is for BBC Two?" It tested ridiculously well, particularly among men who shop at Screwfix and women obsessed with gut health.
All made for less than the catering budget on The Bear.
It cast and budgeted itself. Only bit it struggled with was consent in romantic scenes. We just ignored that.
It wrote the whole script. Claude 3, Gemini, GPT. We called it a writer's room. It even did its own Silver Mouse paperwork and immediately got Albert certified.
What's Silver Mouse?
Just an elaborate BBC hazing ritual. Who did it cast?
Tilly Norwood. 100% AI generated. By some company called Particle 6.
She'll do anything I say. I'm already in love.
Girl Next Door vibes.
Like if a Sunday roast went to drama school and got BAFTA optimised.
But can she cry on Graham Norton?
Of course she can. And it'll be clipped, subtitled, and monetised on TikTok by lunchtime.
We're all going to hell.
Got recommissioned, didn't it?
3 seasons and a podcast.
By an AI commissioner, much faster.
But hey, at least it wasn't a reboot.
Was the whole thing AI?
Yes, from the start.
Yeah, you know, I did not see that commercial, but I've read a lot about this AI concoction of what they call an actress.
Tilly Norwood is the digital creation in question. I don't know what you call it. It's just animated.
Right.
It looks true to life as much as any of the rest of the AI creations do. I will say the mouths are not yet, like when you start getting that uncanny valley situation happening, like something doesn't quite seem right, it helps to focus on like one thing, right? Because the way that this thing tricks you is that your brain is trying to take in everything all at once, right? And it's like something doesn't feel quite right, but I don't know exactly what it is. But if you can focus on one thing, whether it's the eyes are actually pretty good. But I've found that the mouth is a good place to look when you're not sure if something is real or not.
But what's concerning is that it's getting a lot better. Like, I mean, that commercial that we just watched, or like, you can kind of tell that something's off, but mostly because, you know, the title says AI and like you kind of present it as that. Like if you introduce that like during like college football weekend, if I'm just kind of like not paying that close attention to it, it wouldn't stand out as like, oh, this is AI. Like you can sneak that in, and a year from now we'll get even better. And
that is something that is done by some sort of agency, right? They spend a lot of time and resources on it and all of that. What's perhaps more terrifying, if you are want to be terrified by things such as this, is the thing that I'm talking about with OpenAI and their new Sora video app, which is making this trivially easy to make these short-form AI videos. And I'll make sure there's a link in the show note to the New York Times article about this by Mike Isaac and Eli Tan. But they spent some time on this app this week, and all you do is you upload a quick scan of your face and then prompt the app to create videos such as the ones that they show here, including skydiving with pizzas as parachutes. And it looks terrific, right? Like it puts completely to shame. Like I've long been a great big fan of bad Photoshop, right? Like for the effect of it being bad is what makes the joke sort of amusing to me.
Like
right?
You take your friend crouching down with a thumbs up and you place it in different locations.
I don't know what you're talking about. All of the videos of you crouching down and giving a thumbs up with incongruent relative to your attitude scenes behind you all happened.
Wasn't there a crucifixion that I was thumbsing?
Exactly.
For what it's worth, the original version of that photograph, I believe, just featured a rather large acid woman in the background.
I wasn't there. I wasn't aware it was there.
No, surely you were not aware. But anyway, these videos, like clearly there's something still wrong here in this video.
I'm not seeing it. It all looks.
It's a little. It's a little choppy. It's not smooth.
It's a little choppy, and there are like limbs disappear into other limbs. This idiot misses third base entirely, so like the home run wouldn't have counted. So what are you doing? Yeah. But like it's photorealistic. Like there's one here. It's a Matrix-style duel against Ronald McDonald using cheeseburgers as weapons.
I'm kind of hungry now.
And like it looks corny and a little cheesy, and you wouldn't confuse this for something that actually happened in real life, right? In part because of just the aesthetic. Right. It looks like the Matrix screensaver with some funny Photoshop work going on over top. But like in terms of your ability to take someone's face and place it on a body and have it do whatever you want it to do, it's real bad, right? And I've said for the last couple of years about the nudes on the internet that like it's just like if your face is in the world, they can take your face and have you doing the most depraved shit imaginable, and they'll show it to your fucking family or your friends and like circulate it around town. And what are you going to do about it? And how are you going to say, well, that's not me? You can say it's not me, and it will be true that it's not you. But all of these people
Be way better, probably.
All of these people are going to have in their heads this video of you doing depraved shit that they saw on their phone, and it's going to have such a weird impact on the world that we live in.
But you know, that's going to happen in an environment where it's commonly known that this technology is available, so people would be quicker to dismiss it as like fake. Like if this happened years ago, like it's like, oh, that, you know, the
right. But I know I'm not even so worried that like. Because I actually think we should be worried because people are going to onboard this stuff and they're not. The brain does such a bad job of 10 minutes later distinguishing between what is real and what was fake, right? Like we've accepted all of the stimulus, and it happens to me all the time where I'm like, because I say I spend fucking 10 hours reading during the day or something, right? This is an exaggeration, but imagine that I did that, and then it's like if 80% of what I read was true, and 10% of it was maybe true, and 10% more of it was just fucking bullshit. Where is my brain doing the discernment on the back end in terms of remembering appropriately what percent or what slot each of these things slotted into?
Right.
And I always use the example of my Google newsfeed pushing me these bullshit AI trailers that people make, where they take old clips from Spider-Man and they mix it in with AI generated animation and what have you, and then do a new voiceover or new text over or whatever people do now, and then they push it out into your news feed as Spider-Man 11 coming this fucking spring or whatever. Right. And then you watch the thing and it's completely made up. But like in my head now, Spider-Man 11's coming this spring. Can't wait. Yeah. And I think Doc Ock is in this one because I was looking at the stupid video and it had Doc Ock in it. But like I know that like for the most part, people aren't going to be confused about whether or not the thing that they're taking in is necessarily true. But it becomes
that's true.
Just mixed into your brain with everything else. Right. And also, we get so accustomed to not believing the thing that is in front of us that we just decide, like it's almost worse, right? That you don't believe any of it now, right? Like,
yeah, I just kind of don't believe anything anymore.
Like unless Margaret Brennan or Judy Woodruff on the PBS NewsHour says it to you. And like, how do you trust that if I'm on Instagram or I'm on Facebook or wherever I am, and I see a clip of Judy Woodruff explaining something on the PBS NewsHour, how do you trust that that wasn't just some fucking bullshit that was made up to come out of Judy Woodruff's mouth?
If you're seeing Judy Woodruff, it's definitely AI.
Right, because she's not doing it anymore. Forgive me, Amna Nawaz on the PBS NewsHour and whatever that dude's name is who does it.
But no,
speaking,
I do think that you're right. Like, you know, sometimes you lose the context. It's like, weren't you involved in something? Basically, like that'll be the recollection. It's like, no, that was fake. Remember? But if people, because a lot of people consume information in a shallow way, so like if you just see the headline or if you see the clip, that's what you're going to remember. Not that it was fake. So there is that concern. But I maybe this is naive on my part. But like identity theft presented this challenge, right? You know, there were a lot of different data breaches and security breaches over the years. I've been involved in a handful of them. I forgot how many. And my ID has never been used for anything because so much data is out there. There's just so many different accounts. Like you're almost protected by how frequent of a problem it is. And so I wonder if, unless you're like a famous person, it's not going to impact you, right? Like unless somebody has some sort of vendetta against you specifically. Like why would somebody care to create some video that's like makes you look bad? Like I think it's one of those problems that's going to come to fruition on rare occasions, even though it is a problem.
And I don't think that we can possibly measure the amount of damage that can be done by mass convincing us that nothing we see is to be trusted. I think the exact opposite.
I mean, I think that
is the problem.
That would be a problem, like, you know, in the criminal justice system. Like, if you can't rely on video evidence, like, basically you can only rely, I guess, on just like DNA evidence. But, you know, if you see somebody, like, if you see like a Mark Sanchez beating somebody, like 5 years from now, not like now, like if it becomes so commonplace that you can use that as a defense, like you can't rely on the CCTV footage because that could be doctored. So you have to rely on other things, witnesses, and it was just me and him, and he said something disparaging to me, and so blah, blah, blah. Like, I think there's a danger there to where you can't rely on video evidence because it can be doctored. You can't rely on audio evidence, like all of those wiretaps that you would have of people. If you can't rely on those things, then that would kind of harm the...
Well, but there's got to be, like, digital markers of
I
these
wonder
things,
if there is,
right?
like this wasn't doctored with, like this is original. Maybe there is. I don't know. This technology is getting so advanced that maybe it can clean that up.
There was I could have sworn I screenshotted it, but now I can't find it, and that's going to drive me crazy, so I'm just going to have to describe it. But there was... You said the phrase context collapse, or you alluded to this notion of context collapse a few minutes ago. And you're familiar, no doubt, with the image of the airplane with all of the holes in the wings.
Like, this is an actual image, or is it a doctored image?
I'm going to pull it up now. It's a way of showing what's called survivorship bias. And the image is of a hypothetical pattern of damage of a surviving aircraft. So the idea is that a plane would go out and get into a dogfight in World War I or whatever, right? And it would come back to base, and it would have all of these holes in the wings or in the tail or whatever. And they would reinforce the spots where the plane had received damage, right? And it's what you repair it and then you reinforce it because you don't want the damage to be repeated the next time you send the plane out, or you redesign the plane in the future to prevent. But of course, the problem here is that the planes that didn't come back,
didn't evolve,
had holes elsewhere, right? And so that was the problem. Is not the holes that the surviving planes came back with, but the holes that they didn't have, right? Like the places where it was safe. Anyway, hang on, maybe I can find it. I screenshotted a heavy soda trend featuring extra syrup for maximum sweetness gaining popularity in Missouri, of all the fucking things.
That wasn't what you were looking for?
That is not what I'm looking for, but people are making overly sugary drinks on purpose. I screenshotted the headline, today on Netflix, the most watched science fiction film in history with 171 million views, and it's Don't Look Up, because everything fucking sucks. But I did not screenshot the thing that I care most about right now. Anyway, it was somebody had made a clever joke about survivorship bias using the survivorship bias plane, which is a very well-known image that makes the rounds from time to time. Somebody then quote tweeted the very clever joke, which was illustrating survivorship bias in its description of survive. So that it was a clever joke highlighting how wrong it is to have survivorship bias was the original one. But somebody then quote tweeted that, dunking on the person who was making the clever joke for falling victim to the logical fallacy that is survivorship bias, right? And they then shared it with their friends, who then got a great kick out of how dumb the initial person was for falling victim to the thing that they were commenting on in the first place, right? And so it's now, and then it's me seeing it, and I'm saying, look at this series of dummies who don't get that there was a joke being made about survivorship bias in the first place, right? So now it's like I'm thrice removed from the thing, and I start to lose my faith in my ability to interpret the first thing as being a very clever, ironic joke about survivorship bias, right? And so now I'm half tempted to screenshot the people calling the original person who tweeted about survivorship bias, calling them dummies for not getting the joke in the first place, which puts me in danger of squaring, like circling around the same exact problem in the first place. And it was a perfect example of what context collapse does to our brains, which it's so far removed from there's no way of truly reading the original intent of the thing as it was attempting to be presented to us. And I'm now seeing like the third, like reflected through three different mirrors of perception, what this person is trying to say. And it's like, I mean, aside from the fact that obviously none of it matters, but like, how can we ever be expected to communicate in a way that conveys original intent or original meaning when our devices are like designed to make that harder?
Right. I think let me rephrase that. I hope that, and I've said this for some time now, that the online experience becomes so bad that people slowly change their behaviors. I mean, I know it's addictive. It's kind of, again, another naive way to think about it. But, like, if context is lost, if intent, whatever the intended message was is lost, if people are just sniping at each other, like if the experience becomes so toxic, the online experience becomes so toxic, then people are going to just rather not, they're going to gravitate towards using it as a resource, chat groups with friends and associates, things like that. I think there isn't a scenario where things will get better, because I think this will continue to become a problem, and especially once you add fake videos. Like, already you have people sharing videos of things that happened a long time ago, but presented as happening today, and people share it without any thought. Like, hey, isn't this funny? And then you have to correct them, like correct your friends.
And that's, I think, as a way of doing personal sort of mental hygiene, right? For your own personal psychological state, that's all well and good, right? And I think that a good number of people will choose not to live online in the way that we very much did for the first chunk of the 21st century, right? Like, people will realize it's bad there, and it's not a real way of figuring out reality or of thriving, right? And it's bad for human flourishing. I agree with you. Also, it's impossible for the media and our political types to not be on it, right? Like, it's what you're saying is correct for the individual, and also because of the way everything is set up and the way that everything works, it's where the conversation happens. It's where the news happens. And so it will be this bizarre thing where, like, the most conscientious among us simply won't be paying any attention whatsoever, and there'll be this group of weirdos over here who are online all the time trying to get a grasp on the world, and then 90% of the rest of the internet will just be fucking AI furry porn or something, right? Like, it'll just be nonsense.
I it's interesting, now that I'm thinking about it, like, you can have, like, a lot of times people will have something to talk about. Generally, it's sports, because that's, people watch sports. So, like, if you're in a college football kind of town, the week that follows, you can talk about the games that happen. Can you believe there'll be like shorthand? Like, can you believe what happened with Penn State? And that can set you off. Or if you're in the NFL or whatever sport it is, something that you can kind of talk about. But we're getting to a point where everything is like so fragmented. Somebody could say the transvestites have taken over the world, and you have like no idea what someone's saying, because they are consuming something that's all the way online. That had no
a wildly famous person could get publicly murdered, and I wouldn't know who it was.
Right, yeah. So, like, I think it's becoming that way, to where, like, there aren't as many things that people can kind of talk about that everybody has seen, like, but other than, again, sports is going to remain that, but outside of that, it's like, you can't talk to people about anything. Like, you can't even talk to people about the movies, because no one watches the movies anymore. Like, at least not the same movie. So it's like you're running out of things to.
Right, and there's way too much television to talk to anybody about
and
fucking
they're not
television.
being released. It's not like, hey, did you see this? The first season of the True Detective, right? Like as it was being released, you can talk about it, but everything just gets released all at once and it's forgotten all at once. So like there's no
or there's no danger of it ever going away, even though that's not true. But like in my brain, there's no great rush to watch any of the, like, if there's great television, I'll find out about it someday, and it'll be streamable somewhere, and I'll be able to catch up.
It's sometimes to your benefit to take that strategy, because these fucking streamers cancel things. So, like, why invest in something that is going to cancel a season into it? So, like, if the cream rises to the top, and now you have 5 seasons worth of good content, it's better just to watch it once they release it, So I think it's getting there, but I do think that ultimately people are engaged in behavior that they're getting something out of, unless it's addictive. And so what they have is the addictive part, but I don't think it's as fun as it can be, because it's kind of getting people to just kind of just get mad at each other.
Yeah. And I think your optimistic take on for the individual makes a lot of sense. People will opt out if it is not contributing to their sort of flourishing in the world. But also, I don't know how we opt out collectively in terms of how we're building the world. And I got like super mad last night. We had our annual members meeting for the Little League, and nobody fucking showed up. There were like 8 of us there. And I take total responsibility for it because I did none of the legwork to try to get people to show up. But like,
is this a typically well-attended affair, or just...
No, but the point is that, like, in this world where our digital lives are increasingly bullshit, right? And we sort of collectively know that our digital lives, that it is not a path towards meaningful human connection. Right. Like, it is not a replacement for community in a way that matters. Things like Little League can be that for your town, right? For your little community, for the couple of hundred families who participate in that with you, that can be something that you choose to make community out of. And I was mad because I had not done the work to make people aware that this was something that was worth showing up for and being a part of. I will not make that mistake again next year. Again, it wasn't exactly my responsibility. I'm saying I'm taking responsibility for it in the future. It was just frustrating because I know that, like, in a weird way, like now more than ever, it is these small little community organizations that you're already a part of that if you would just invest another 10 or 15% in, all of a sudden it becomes much, much more meaningful.
Right. But, do you find it odd that people are not willing to invest in that? Like, maybe it's just... because the phone is there with you at all times, and so I don't know what it is.
Hang on 1 second. Sorry. I had to smash a bug. A cat was trying to torture. Go ahead.
Save the bug. No, I would just... I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
Why people aren't willing to invest more.
Yeah, it's interesting that maybe people don't see the value in it yet, to try to build some sort of community in the real world. Maybe... just social media and your phone is always there, and so like they're like, oh, this is fine, I can deal with this. I don't know if like I said, beyond just people making individual choices to come off social media, if there's going to be a big shift, because a lot of people that I know that are kind of detoxing or just kind of moving away from using their phones a lot and getting on social media a lot are people just our age, so I don't know what the next crop of humans are doing, the 20-year-olds. Like, I don't know.
They won't know any different, right? Like, that's the thing, is they won't know that it was better before since they were 10, they were on these fucking devices.
Yeah. So that will be a bigger lift. But I don't know. It just seems, at some point people are going to like, what's the point of all of this online stuff? It's not fun.
All right, Abe, it is now time to play America's favorite game show. We are going to find out if Mark Strassmann, CBS News' senior national correspondent, got off a good one.
For thousands of years, people have used horses to travel, hunt, and fight. In Eye on America, Mark Strassmann shows us how they're being used to help us heal.
This Kentucky horse farm rides hard on expectations. You're up by 5, ready to work, clean and sober.
Can we make you look pretty this morning?
It's a drug and alcohol rehab program called Stable Recovery. Roughly 50 men recovering from addictions. You'll also find 750 counselors. These 750 thoroughbreds.
A big part of addiction and recovery is being honest with yourself. It's real easy to be honest with a horse.
Frank Taylor and Christian Counselor were honest with us. They're both in recovery themselves.
Both of you see yourselves in these guys.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We lose sight of just how special a gift it is to wake up every single day.
Counselor now steers Stable Recovery.
Your job is to control the horse and protect him.
Taylor's family owns TaylorMade Farms, the world's largest seller of thoroughbreds.
How much are some of these horses worth?
We got one on here that's worth $100 million.
Aren't you taking a bit of a chance?
It was significant risk, but you know what? You might save somebody's life.
See how he's right here? You come on this side.
Stable Recovery is a year-long 12-step program, free for participants, funded by private donors. They work here, live here, heal here.
This is something you will face every single day for the rest of your life.
These guys usually show up broken, and the horses help put them back together, help them build a new life that's not worth losing.
I was the guy that Mom said, get out of my house and never come back.
Josh Franks came here a homeless ex-felon, fighting addiction since he was 11.
And the horse knew nothing about your background.
That's the hit right there. They don't ask. They don't ask where you come from, how'd you get here, what'd you do. They don't judge me.
Frank started here clearing out the stalls. 2.5 years later, he supervises the care of 178 horses. And the meth life is behind him.
So I literally was on the street crying my eyes out every single day, begging God to take me off of this earth. 4 hours into this farm, I'm smiling again. I got a horse in my hand. I feel like I have a purpose, and that was here to take care of these animals.
As you're taking care of the horse, you're taking care of you.
Yes, absolutely. These horses love me back to life.
25 people have completed the one-year program. 22 are still sober, and they're all working on horse farms.
There's something about a horse.
Yeah. That's the secret sauce. They come in here, they're depressed, they're anxious, they're nervous, and you just put them with a horse. The light comes back in their eye.
Sobriety's a tough track. These thoroughbreds help go the distance. For Eye on America, I'm Mark Strassmann in Lexington, Kentucky.
All right, Abe. Did Mark Strassmann, CBS News' senior national correspondent, get off a good one?
Yes, he did.
Strassmann gets off a good one.
Nice little segment they had there.
I'll be perfectly honest. I don't have any sentimentality about horses. I think they're weird, largely dumb animals. That's probably a function of my lack of exposure to them. I'm sure they're fine.
Are you saying if you were just addicted to meth, like it wouldn't do anything for you, the horses?
I mean, it might. That's what I'm saying. I was surprised. I found myself touched by the stories here.
First of all, $100 million for a horse? What does this horse do?
They're so expensive.
It fucks, Abe. It fucks and makes more racehorses.
That is, I would not let, not to disparage these fine folks, any sort of drug-addled person around my $100 million horse. That's ridiculous. Any horse will do, right?
In terms of their recovery,
yeah, I mean,
yes.
What was that number?
Only
20
licensed horses.
22 out of 25. That's a pretty good stat line.
Yeah, it's solid B+ effort there by the.
Although you got to give it some time. I don't know, 5 years. There was one guy who was addicted since he was 11, and his parents kicked him out. 11, that's parent territory. You know, when kids become teenagers, their peers take over. That's their fault. 11, addicted to things. Something happened at the house. I mean, and now you're kicking him out? Like, what the fuck?
Should we be worried that Barry Weiss is now the editor-in-chief over at CBS News?
I was going to ask. I'm holding judgment to see what sort of shakeup she engineers. If she comes after Strassmann, then I am going to be decidedly against this move. If she's just kind of just like a figurehead, then whatever.
I don't think I follow Barry Weiss on any social media, but I think I might, so that I can reach out to her personally as the new editor-in-chief of CBS, the entire CBS News.
Yeah,
division.
what is she over? She's seeing like my Sunday morning program, the 60 Minutes.
60 Minutes.
Oh my God!
The entire CBS News.
Sunday morning.
This is outrageous. This is like the crown jewel of television. These programs that CBS has. She's gonna meddle with that.
It's a truly shocking turn in mainstream media. Like I think it is as potentially as consequential as anything I can remember. It's bizarre.
The Ellisons are behind all of this, right? They're the Oracle guy and his kid.
The son of the Oracle guy is the one who's.
And I think they're trying to work out a TikTok takeover. So if they have CBS and they do the Warner Brothers acquisition and TikTok, good Lord.
Yeah, but Barry Weiss in charge. It's very strange.
That is true. Yeah, because she used to make the rounds on Bill Maher's show, and then she's like, "I'm gonna do independent, whatever the fuck that Free Press was," and it get bought up for $150 million.
$150 million for, I think I saw that they had 1.5 million subscribers to their Substack, so they're getting $100 a pop.
Weren't they
like that? That's the payoff. There is she's making $100 a pop per paid subscriber.
That's remarkable. They're able to pull that many people. Wasn't there also some bullshit school that they had like in Austin? Like freedom is
Yeah, the less said about the University of Austin, the better.
Okay.
I think at this point. But I think it's still happening down there.
Okay. Oh boy.
But yeah, don't fuck with Mark Strassmann.
That is
Barry. That's what I'm saying. I follow you somewhere and then send you a personal direct message. I'm going to alert her to just what she has. She might not know.
That's right.
That she has the single greatest newsman in history. A man who has clearly been told to tone it down the last few years.
I wonder what the people that have been at these different news teams feel about all of this turmoil. There's been a lot of changing of hands at CBS, like with Viacom and Paramount and this and that. It's like,
don't fuck with Mark Strassmann, don't fuck with Maggie Brennan, and we're going to be just fine.
That's the other thing. Okay? Face the nation.
You've been listening to Cast Iron Brains, a podcast with Bob and Abe. Find the show on Substack, brainiron.substack.com for more from us. Where if you are the son of the richest or second richest man in the world, you can also buy us for $150 million if you would like. brainiron.substack.com. The opening and closing themes of the show were composed by Mark Gillig, tetramermusic.com, TETRAMER music.com. For more from Mark. Abe, did you make it to the movies to go see that Turned Up rock movie this week?
I did. I went to go see The Smashing Machine. Perhaps I was the only one in the country to do so. This movie crashed and burned. It came in a distant third to Taylor Swift's Whatever Nonsense, which made $34 million for some reason. The Smashing Machine, $6 million. Behind One Battle After Another, which has been in theaters already for a couple of weeks now. Again, over 3,000 in theaters. This is a mega release. This is not like L.A. and New York. This is,
as I said about last Friday, this is a terrible day in pop culture when the best thing that we have going for us is that.
It should be noted, Avatar: The Way of the Water made $3 million in about 1,000 fewer theaters. But anyways, the movie was not bad. So I'm going to set aside the money part. I'm not into the box office success. It's whatever. The movie was fine until I realized after the fact.
You always say that it doesn't matter, but you love the scoreboard aspect of the box office. You really do.
So I come to find out after the fact. So this is a movie about like one of the quote-unquote pioneers of the human cockfighting, that turned out to be the UFC. Mark Kerr, never heard of this guy. I caught on to the UFC in the mid-aughts, so this was like in the late 90s. And he did not become a household name, but they thought it was worthy to do a movie about him. I find out after the fact that there was a documentary by the same name, The Smashing Machine, and this movie was almost beat for beat the same as that documentary.
They just remade the documentary?
They just remade the documentary. And so The Rock is in this. Emily Blunt is in this. It's funny. I don't know if I've said this before. There's something like sexless about The Rock. Like it doesn't have a lot of. I don't know.
Like me and Taylor Swift, you get no sexual kick out of The Rock.
And you usually can pair up Emily Blunt with anybody. She can make it work. But like, it wasn't quite clicking.
Chemistry wasn't
there. Also, this was one of the Safdie brothers that's behind this production here. The character that Emily Blunt played, the girlfriend of the guy who's getting beat up all the time, she was played like as if an incel wrote the screenplay. She's just like always in the way. This guy is trying to achieve something, and there's this nagging woman and blah blah blah. Like it happened so many times. She's just like, what are you doing?
You said it was just a remake of the documentary.
So I saw the first 10 minutes of the documentary. I did not see any sort of nagging stuff. I was like, I'm not going to watch the same fucking thing I just watched.
No.
So I'll go back and revisit and see how the real life girlfriend was. But my God, every point of conflict was her point of conflict. So in the story, Mark Kerr, the guy that Dwayne The Rock plays, he's a meathead, just punching people. He's getting punched, so a lot of damage to the body. He needs painkillers. He needs something stronger than painkillers. He needs steroids. He's abusing his body with this stuff, and he's doing booze. Just a rough way to go about living. Yeah. And so he bottoms out, and then she helps him. With whatever, and then he sobers up. And he doesn't need her as much, and she resents him for that, and she tries to undermine his sobriety. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And this happens and then she's like, he needs to concentrate on the fight. So like, you got to get into a headspace. I'm not a fighter in that way, so I don't know what sort of head space one needs to get into, but you have to respect the pre-game whatever, right? So she comes in and she starts bothering him. Hey, this Japan is pretty nice. Like, and he's like, you need to like fuck off for like 2 minutes. I'm fighting this big guy. Like, I need to concentrate.
Right.
I lost to
trying to get in the zone.
I lost to him last time. This is a very important moment for me. And she's like, I guess you don't love me. She's like, and she throws a fit. I'm like, what is happening? It happened 4 times. I'm looking around. There was nobody in the theater to make contact with.
You're trying to defend the honor of all women.
Like, what is happening here?
To an empty theater.
I'm telling you, it is one of the strangest. Like, what is happening now? Like, it just kept on happening over and over and over again, and then he has his whole identity is wrapped around this fucking fighting thing, right? At this point he never lost. And so, like, some interviewer was like, what would happen if you were to lose? And he couldn't envision a world where he lost. He nervously laughs. He's like, I can't even imagine. What are you talking about? And then cut to him losing. And then the girlfriend's just like, why are you always worried about the stupid fighting thing? And he's like, are you kidding? This is my whole life. Every opportunity that came about, she would shit on it. And then they reconciled at the end. And they cut to the real life Mark Kerr at the end. And he's like, he won like another match, but it was it kind of ended in a weird way. They build up this thing where there's this tournament, and he loses in the semifinals. So it doesn't even build.
Is this one of these where like it's almost too true to life because the true to life story is just not that great?
And basically at the end, he comes to terms with the fact that it's okay to lose sometimes, and so it kind of ends with him like crying, laughing in the shower, like he lost again and he's still alive, and he's like, maybe I'm not only just the guy that punches people, I'm something else. But anyways, it's a fine movie. I thought if they had the documentary, they should just release that.
Was my prediction about just based on the 30 seconds of previews that I've seen where it's just like just feels like one of those movies where everything is just amped up all the way to 11 the whole time.
No, not all time. It's a little more it's not that. It's a little more grounded than that.
Anything else?
Just a lot of football.
Yeah. Did we watch anything, Lori?
We finished the Charlie Sheen.
Oh,
thing.
I
That's right.
finished
We watched the second half of the Charlie Sheen documentary.
I did that too. Why was he so? I guess all the homophobia. Why was he so like? It took him a lot of effort to just say, I flipped the menu over, and boy, a lot of cocks on this side.
I think because he comes from a time when there was legitimate disgust at any dude who'd be banging other dudes. How many famous out bisexual men are there in Hollywood?
Like none.
Like none.
True.
His willingness to just say, I guess I'd fuck around with anything that moves when I'm on drugs.
It surprised him as much as anyone.
But that is some drug. Like, so until he started doing whatever cocaine or whatever he was on, I was like, wow, this guy's... And his ability to consume that, like the amount of drugs that he did without dying is pretty remarkable.
Some people are just made of different stuff. Like it's just what it is. Most people who take that amount of drugs would just be dead.
Right.
And some people just survive, and there's no good explanation for it. I think about it all the time just in terms of smoking cigarettes. Like Kurt Vonnegut smoked a pack a day, Pall Malls his whole life, and died because he fell off a ladder and bumped his head.
Really?
And
I mean,
like if I would love to know, like I would almost certainly still be a smoker if I knew that I would live to 90 anyway. You know? Like I would take the lower quality of life in the meantime if I knew that it wouldn't be like a drag on my long-term prospects. And of course you can't know that.
I wonder, do they do studies on people like that? I don't know how old Sean Penn is, but he was in the documentary. He seems to be like a chain smoker.
Yeah, heavy smoker for sure.
He's still alive. I mean, he's not like 90 years old, but like he looks weathered. But he for whatever reason he Charlie Sheen. I mean, he has a lot of practice. He's been doing this a lot. So the body acclimates to the environment. So like maybe it just over the years he built an ability to consume that much. I would hate to be his old man. Like just throughout his whole life, this guy is such a fuck up. Like he just kept on fucking up.
He punished the hell out of the people who loved him most, certainly. Denise Richards, man, she was once a beautiful woman, and I just don't with the plastic surgery. I know you want to hang on to your youth, but it doesn't work. It has the opposite effect.
She came across quite likable,
yeah,
though.
As a human being, she
like
came across quite likable and relatively normal.
That third lady he met who was sober for a few years, what the fuck's up with her? She's still on the bend?
Yeah.
Guess so.
Wow.
I think she took something to calm her nerves before her interview happened in that. The documentary does a decent job of just sort of telling you what happened without overwhelming you with like it didn't feel overly managed by Charlie Sheen, right? Like it, and I know it was
incredibly genuine.
It felt, it just felt like a genuine expression of his experience. At the same time that it doesn't attempt to sort of apologize for any of it, right? Like it doesn't exactly attempt to like really plumb the depths of the psychological reasons for why he was such a fucking mess. He was just a fucking mess.
It's a story.
Like it, and I sort of enjoyed that it doesn't attempt to narrativize any of that.
Right.
Like he was just a fucking dummy who really liked doing drugs and now doesn't do drugs anymore and seems to be relatively with it. And like, I don't know. I was incredibly charmed by the entire thing, I think, throughout. And the first half was definitely way more fun. Right, like episode 1 is way more fun than the second one is.
But
still worth watching.
One thing that I found interesting, from their vantage point, they're just looking at the ratings, right? Like 2.5 Men was not a critical hit, right? It was just like, this stupid fucking show that a lot of people watch. But like in their eyes, they don't care about any of that. They're like, this show is, the ratings are through the roof, and we're getting all the money in the world. He was getting $2 million an episode, which is remarkable. And everybody else is just kind of like, I think maybe they were a little dishonest, like, you know, the Chuck Lorre and the John Cryer guy, where they were like, oh, we were concerned about him. I mean, it seemed like they were just like, let this gravy train take us where it will take us until the wheels fall off.
Chuck Lorre is like personally responsible for some of the worst television that's ever graced American television screens, and that became wildly popular.
He knows how to pick them though. Like, I mean, was he behind the Big Bang Theory also?
Yes,
I mean,
he was also Big Bang Theory.
What a remarkable run!
Stayed intimately involved, I think, with the Young Sheldon nonsense. Anything else that we watched?
No.
For as unnerved as I am by the existence of that AI actress Tilly Norwood, she's kind of designed to my specifications, though, wasn't she?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Big fan, eh?
I mean, I don't know. She's not real.
She's a little young.
It's a little young. I like him in that like 30 to 33 range. She's a little bit too happy. You're gonna need need a sadder.
I mean, it's a robot. Like, what would they be saying?
My girl, I always
Rachel
do
Weisz?
this. Not Rachel Weisz. They're all the same.
Ana de Armas?
Ana de Armas, Rachel Weisz, Carla Gugino. Just a very pretty but perhaps slightly sad resting face. That's what I'm after.
I see. That's your look.
That's why I've strived to make Lori increasingly sad
working.
as time goes on. It's molding her to my ideal. Abe, have you got anything else for us tonight?
Nope.
I guess that's all we've got for you tonight then, and we will talk to you next time.
Later.
Wow. proceeding was created with 100% human content.